breast litigation that was then just beginning to become a factor in litigation in the state of Michigan. Well, we're here a year later, and we're going to revisit breast litigation in Michigan. Stay with us. We're on Due Process. I'm Henry Baskin, your host for this edition of Due Process. We're going to be talking about the breast implant litigation and the cases that it spawned. It has become more incredible than I thought it would be at the time we first spoke about it with our experts here on Due Process. To bring you up to date and tell you what's going on in the courts and what's going on with breast litigation and much more, we've invited two experts who are plaintiffs' lawyers. They are Douglas Peters on my far right, an attorney practicing in the Tri-County area, and next to him is Beverly Hires, who similarly is an attorney practicing in the Tri-County area. And Beverly, tell me what has happened to breast litigation. Is it increasing? Are the numbers getting larger than we ever thought?
The numbers are getting larger. More women are coming forward as they become aware that there is a problem with the implants and perhaps their medical conditions are connected. And when they became aware, they became empowered, and they are now seeking legal redress for the wrong.
Okay, I understand that. Doug, are the implants in the lawsuits directed at a particular company or at all manufacturers and doctors who participated?
Every manufacturer that made implants is being sued. A lot of the companies that made the components that go into the gel and shell are also being sued. Very few doctors and very few hospitals are being sued because under the products law in Michigan, generally the physician is not considered to be a seller of products.
Okay. Beverly, knowing that you are also a nurse, what is exactly happening within women's bodies to cause this litigation?
Well, there are a number of things.
Just a brief description.
There's a number of things. The silicone itself was originally meant to be surgical or medical grade, which means it's supposed to be quality material that you can put in the body without hurting your body.
Okay.
But the truth is, it just isn't. It contains, a lot of substances, both chemicals and bacterial substances, which cause the body to react.
Okay, so the body's reacting to the silicone.
That's correct.
Is the silicone leaking into the body and becoming part of the membranes of the body?
That's exactly what's happening. What happens is that the silicone envelope, which contains the gel, actually does breathe, or it seeps.
It's a permeable?
It is semi-permeable.
Okay.
And you can tell because when you take out an implant that's been in a woman's body for a long time, it's not crystal clear anymore.
We'll get back to it. Yeah. But I want to ask Doug, what is happening to these women? I mean, okay, let's say some silicone, which is not the best grade, is leaking into the body. How bad is that? What's happening?
There are a number of things in the silicone. Metals, for which people have been known to be sensitized, including platinum, chromium, and nickel.
Okay, but what happens to the people? What happens to the women?
They develop a variety of illnesses. The illnesses, some of them have names: lupus-like, scleroderma-like illnesses, thyroiditis, which is basically a hypothyroidism.
Okay, let's stop at thyroiditis for hypo, not hyperthyroidism.
Right,
but
hypo.
Let's stop there. How long have breast implants been around in this country? 25 years, 30 years?
At least.
The first breast implants were glass balls, and they were implanted in the early 1920s. Okay, and then the silicone implants, paraffin injections, the implants that we know about today, the silicone implants are basically a phenomenon of the late 50s, early 60s. Okay. The Cronin implant was the...
So we're talking about 30 or 35 years.
That's correct.
Okay, what were the diagnoses that were being made 30 years ago for women who had implants but had hypothyroidism? I mean, did they say, hey, you got a bad thyroid gland?
Exactly. They didn't connect the two.
Well, what happened suddenly to make you people and the rest of these people aware that it was these implants that were leaking into the system?
A number of people filed suits in the mid to late 70s for deflations of inflatables. In the process of going through the documents of the manufacturers, they began to find information that suggested there were other problems. As the suits happened, the lawyers discovered documents. They took the documents to doctors. Doctors began to piece together the bits of the puzzle and began to realize that it might be something in the implant that is causing this set of illnesses, and then the FDA became involved because of complaints.
So these are, just to use lay terms, Beverly, hold one up, and just hold it still.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll hold the one that's not ruptured.
Okay, let's hold one up, you know, because we've had them on the show before. Now just hold it there. Those implants, those are silicone, is that correct?
Correct.
Those are leaking into women's bodies, is that correct? And the membrane is interacting with the body chemistry and causing this problem.
That's very good. Correct.
Are you saying that women should not, repeat, should not have these implants?
If they want to stay healthy, they shouldn't have them. There's no guarantee that you're going to have these implants and you're going to be okay. There are some women who have implants that don't have symptoms at this time, but it does not mean they will not become ill from them in the future.
Is there an alternative? Is there another kind of implant that is safe that women could have?
There's not a good alternative.
There isn't a safe implant.
What is the other type of implant?
There's saline implants that are available.
Saline. How bad is saline?
The saline is fine, except it's contained in an envelope made out of the same elastomer, silicone elastomer, as this product.
So at this point in time, there are no breast implants going on in this country.
Oh, on contrary, they're going on in this country today.
Why?
There are two types of procedures going on. The FDA allowed the continued implantation of silicone breast implants if women were part of a clinical study.
These implants are now allowed, and you people are sitting here telling me that they're leaching into the body?
They're only allowed for women who are having reconstruction on a risk-benefit analysis. There was testimony before the FDA. That's where they had cancer.
Okay, reconstruction.
And the theory was that women would not have their breast cancer treated if they didn't have something like this available.
Okay, I understand that. Let's talk about cosmetic augmentation. Are you telling me that people are still opting to do this?
No. No, they're going with the salines.
They're going with salines.
Or the tram flaps.
And manufacturers are still saying, hey, there's nothing wrong with the saline, put it in?
No, they're not. The warnings in the saline have become much stricter, and the warnings in the saline, or they basically say there's a lot they don't know about it. So when a woman has a saline implant today, the warnings she'll get are more than she would have gotten a year or two ago.
And they have to sign these waivers and things like that.
Well, the FDA has the salines under consideration now, and the burden is on the manufacturers to show they're safe, a burden we don't believe they're going to be able to show. Okay. And we expect the salines are going to go the same way the gels went.
Right. As we go out to a break, I just want you to tell me, and we want to get a tight shot on these two documents. On the right.
I want to point out this came from the same woman's body. This came on. This is her left breast. It was a ruptured implant, and you can see how much of the body
the discoloration indicates to you there's been some interaction with body fluids, chemicals, etc. in the body.
That's correct.
And the one on the left was intact. Is that correct?
It's intact, but it is somewhat cloudy and discolored.
Okay.
When it's brand new, it's crystal clear.
As we go out to a break, and we'll be right back on the other side of this, tell me how many cases are currently pending in the state of Michigan?
480 plus or minus.
There's new cases every day.
6,000 in the state courts in the United States, 6,000 in the federal courts, a total of about 12,000 cases currently filed.
And you should be aware that this is just the tip of the iceberg. Even in my own office, we have more cases in our office than we have filed.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with Doug Peters and Beverly Hires talking about breast implants, the problems that you're going to face, the options that you have. You're going to meet our panel. Stay with us on Due Process. We'll be right back.
If you need legal advice, call the Oakland County Bar Association Referral Service at 338-2100 for a referral to an attorney who practices in the area of law that you require.